Hi, I'm Peggy Oliveira. I am one in three. 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys is sexually abused by the time they reach the age of 18. That's not just the children that we have in the world right now. That's all the men and women around you. Survivors are everywhere. You may not know it, they may not talk about it, but we are your sisters, your friends, your coworkers, your partners, your fathers, the stranger sitting next to you on public transportation, and the person you look up to and admire. We are everywhere, but you wouldn't know that because we look like normal human beings. The messages that we're given through movies, media, is that survivors are damaged beyond repair. They're crazy, they're homicidal, they're suicidal, they can't maintain a relationship. This is not the reality. There's no doubt that sexual abuse is devastating. There's no question. And without help, many people do become suicidal. Many people do have really unhealthy and abusive relationships. But healing is possible. What keeps people from believing in that are the messages that are around us everywhere. The messages I just referred to, but also the message that the damage is done. There's nothing you can do. There's shame. And for me, this month, Sexual Assault Awareness Month 2016, is about letting go of the shame. Once we decide the shame is not ours, people will begin to stand up. Instead of seeing a video like this or a post somewhere on sexual abuse and ignoring it, moving on to the next one, they will take a moment and think, what if this were my child? What if this were my brother? What if they're living in a place of shame? And maybe for that moment that you think about that, you decide to stand up by sharing this video, by talking about sexual abuse. When you hear a story about a teacher having sex with a student, you say, wait a minute, a teacher cannot have sex with a student. That's called rape. Adults are not inappropriate with children if they behave in a sexual way. It's abuse or assault. That's minimizing. It's bad enough that survivors do it themselves as a way of coping. Society has no right to cope with something like this. We have a duty, we have a responsibility to make sure that for those who are affected by sexual abuse, that they have a place, that they feel safe in being able to share that, to get help for that without fear of judgment, without fear of being seen as weak, because it happened so long ago. Just let it go. It's in the past. Forgive and forget. How many times do we hear those stories, often by well-meaning people who have no idea what the hell they're talking about? It is time that we, as survivors, that we, as people who love somebody, who cares about somebody who is sexually abused, stand up. The shame is not ours. And I don't know about you, but I am tired of carrying that burden. I let go of the shame that I carried all those years. I've done that. But I know that there are millions of you who have not yet been able to do that. And I am telling you, the shame is not yours. It belongs solely and completely with the person who chose to violate and betray you. Nobody else. I don't care what messages you've heard. I don't care who has said that to you. It could have been your mother. It could have been your priest, your best friend, your perpetrator. The shame is not yours. The shame is not ours. It's time to stand up, to speak out, to honor within yourself the reality of what you've experienced, because it is only through that acknowledgement that you can ever hope to begin to heal. Please consider sharing this video, or write your own blog post, do your own video. Whatever way you can help spread this message, whatever way you can begin to talk about this so that other people do not feel ashamed. It's time. I can't tell you how many people I know who are ashamed that they were abused. They're ashamed that somebody did something to them. People aren't ashamed if they get robbed. People aren't ashamed if they develop cancer. And there's all kinds of awareness about breast cancer awareness. In April is Autism Awareness Month. 1 in 68 children is diagnosed with autism. 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 5 boys is sexually abused. There's no shame in autism. Don't get me wrong, it is a devastating diagnosis with long-term repercussions. But people are talking about that. People don't have shame talking about autism or breast cancer. Look at the awareness campaigns. Look at the money raised for breast cancer. The NFL wears pink. For autism, New York will be lit up in blue. What have you heard about sexual assault awareness? Probably very little, if anything. I don't know about you, but I've never seen anything lit up in teal. I've never seen a news report on the fact that it's Sexual Assault Awareness Month and the reality of childhood sexual abuse. Whenever there is anything about sexual assault awareness, it's usually, at this point in our history, related to on-campus sexual assault, which again is an important issue. But every day in this world, every day, children are being sexually assaulted, mostly by people they know and trust. We have to speak up. As allies, you don't have to be a survivor yourself. You know somebody, you care about somebody who was sexually abused. They need to know that you're in their corner, that you believe them and you support them. Thank you for joining me. Let's make this movement a reality. The shame is not ours.